Hey, and welcome to the show. This show is brought to you by Patreon members like you.
Thank you for being a Patreon member.
As a Patreon member, you get a video of the podcast that we put out twice a month.
Now, on with the show.
That's always fun. I always have to stop. A lot of guys are starting to pick up on. Lane, stop! Boss! What's going on?
Stop.
Ooh, it came in the other day. Check it out.
The bill? Oh, because the bill's coming in.
Oh, yeah. The new SR, Audison SR.
Yeah. Nebraska. Tennessee.
I haven't had a chance to open this yet.
Any stereos for GA?
Nope.
I probably do.
Wow, look at that. The Audison 4.500 SR. Oh, so they did it backwards too. They did the channel and then the amount of wattage. Look at that. Isn't that sexy?
Channel 500. Texas. What's up, Cincinnati?
What power is it playing? Come on.
It's a lot of
Oh, there we go. It's 130 at 4 ohms. Wow. 220 at 2 ohms. This thing's awesome.
It's Audison.
Don't open the bag.
What's up, Clint?
So, you know what? So this is the partner amp for it. So this is the SR 1.500.
California.
Ooh, they're the same size. Ooh, my OCD
They are?
is... Yeah, look at that.
Oh, wow.
How freaking sexy
They
is that?
stackable?
Yeah. I mean, you probably can't because you need to get to this, but I mean, dude, so the sub amp is 500 at 4, 800 at 2, and 1,000 at 1.
No.
Dang. So basically what we got is 130 by 4 and 1,000 watts. Just like that.
South Africa, what's up?
That's pretty sweet. So these are the new SR amplifiers from Audison. I got these because I was trying to decide on what I wanted to do in Sue's car, if I was going to do a Forza and their little 500 watt amp. So I also got the...
Yeah, trying to get that.
We also got the Bitnove as the DSP. So this is going to be the DSP to drive these amplifiers and the Audison system, that whatever these end up going into. Aren't those cute? I mean, look at that.
See? I just log in and I can get to the previous
Do the Primas. I'm gonna, on hers I've settled I am gonna do the Prima. But I still got these just because, why not, right? No, not at all.
yeah.
I wish. They're not big money. No, Bobby, definitely not big money. But these are cool. I mean, it's all market research, so.
You just gotta shake the tree.
Oh, this one comes with a little screwdriver. What is this, taped to the bottom? Oh, they taped the owner's manual at the bottom of the box. But it's had a little gain screwdriver in it. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, Audison.
Oh, nice. Clint has an APF 8.9.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I have to put in her car. So there again, I'm trying to decide if I want to put the Forza in or if I just want to go with the regular.
Big money then, that's right. It's just like right there, like this.
You guys are terrible.
Hello, long time no see. Well, it's been a long time I don't see you.
Man,
yeah, that is true. And it's gonna be a long, long time.
Hey, it's Anthony. He put out a video for me.
Hey, what's that, Anthony?
Oh, what did Terry Green say? Slow it down. Right there. Do you know if Ada's still working on my cord? It's been like 8 months now. Last I talked to him, he was. I honestly haven't had a chance to talk to him in like a week and a half because we've been kind of doing this. But every time we were talking to him last week about the pictures he put up on it. So it's looking really nice. I mean, there's no doubt about it for sure. 500 watts RMS to the flax. Dangerous or great? Great. That would be great.
Awesome.
6.5s? Yeah, that'd be great.
Have you guys ever experienced any problems with CarPlay lately?
None whatsoever. No. I mean, I have wireless CarPlay in my car, and before that I had wired, and
I got no car.
I mean, we don't get. I mean, there again, when we put them in, we don't get a lot of people that complain about it. So
the update from Apple just came out last night.
I did get it. There was an update that I just did on my iPhone today.
I don't know if maybe that will be the problem, but that was last night.
It was a something .1 update, so I don't know what that did. Well, because it's usually like whatever the version, then there's the big update in the middle,
3, 4,
and this was like a 10.6.1. So yeah. Hey, from San Diego, South Africa, and Long Island.
Ooh.
I hear they make iced tea there. Best head unit for 2017 Mustang. I don't know if there is.
What's up from Chicago?
I would worry about the dash kit more.
What?
I think the 17. Does iData make the dash kit for that one?
For the 17?
Yeah, or is that just a...
I'm going to say yes.
I don't know if they make the dash kit for that, or if they make the, if it's got the premium. Yeah, 13.5.1. Thanks, Rob. Yo, Vega in the house.
Wait,
I don't know.
how do you do wireless Android Auto?
You buy the right phone.
Yeah, and the right radio.
What does it say? 150, not 500, you know? It's all 500,
hey,
baby.
Congratulations, man. Finally got that 1,000.
Have you got the 4,000 hours yet, though? Holy God.
I'm sure he got 4,000 hours.
Jeez. Yeah. Can you guys do a 911 video again? I don't think we have any in the queue. So, I mean, honestly, if we never did another 911 video again, that would be wonderful, because that means that everyone's stereo got installed properly. But we know that's not always going to happen, so I'm sure there'll be another one at some point.
All right, hang on.
I'm hanging.
All right. Where is it?
I don't know.
Felix. Nando's Instagram, Jao tunes and speaks lovely. Okay, I'm going to check it out, man.
You got something?
I'm gonna check. Yeah.
Oh,
Felix.
Sing. Yeah, okay.
I don't know what is that, man.
I don't either.
2018 Silverado, Fox box down firing. Have 2 10s now. We'll put in 2 8s. Running a rock for 750.1. Sounds better. It's more airspace.
We've only ever done 10s.
We've
only ever done 10s. So we've only always done like 2 10s and that's it.
High five, Vega.
Nothing. Could you please explain the advantage of aftermarket head units such as a Kenwood Exelon with 5 volts preamp over the lower voltage signal? So it's actually Alpine made that real simple. Half as much noise, twice as much signal. That used to be their selling point when they marketed 4 volts back in the 90s. So when you look at the actual noise that is coming in over, like the standard floor noise that you're going to get no matter what you do. If you have a 4 volt signal, you have a bigger pipe, but the noise basically stays the same. This is just background noise that your car is going to have. If you go 4 volt, or if you go 2 volt. So you're closer to that noise threshold when you have a 2 volt signal as opposed to a 4 volt signal. So twice as much signal, half as much noise. They say twice as much signal because back then the standard was 2 volts. So the more output voltage from your source unit within reason to your amplifier, the less you can have your gain. So you can turn your gains down. When your gains are down, that reduces the floor noise, that reduces all sorts of noise that is induced into the amplifier. That's why there's the big conversation about distortion detectors, clip lights, and all that fun stuff, because you want to keep those gains down as low as possible. Everyone, I can't tell you how many times, dude, I've only got my gains like halfway up, bro. You're an idiot. That's it. You know, yeah, if you have a half a volt of output coming out of your head unit, well, then that would totally be reasonable expectation. And if you did have a half a volt coming out of your head unit, like some radios did, and probably some still do, yeah, your gains would be way up because that signal is so tiny coming into it. It's like when you have to strain to see something, when you're like, it's like a magnifying glass. Is there a signal there?
That's awesome.
So, you know, that's why you want more signal. Now, some of these amplifiers now have
what's that, Tommy?
When you're looking at your high level to low level inputs, hey, from Michigan, they have like 10 volts of input, they handle like 8 volts, 10 volts, 12 volts, 16, 20, 40 volts of input. Some of these amplifiers will take 40 volts of input. And the reason why... gain is a volume knob. No, it's not.
It is.
And the reason why they have that is because some of these factory radios now, when you're going after the amplifier, have 20 volts of output going into that subwoofer because it's an amplified signal. It's full amplifier. And there again, some of these that just have little IC power chips on the back of the radios that are just driving those. Those may have 6 to 10 volts of output. So the question is, and some manufacturers will say to use that. Oh, use the output, the higher output voltage. You can keep the gains down lower. But then you have to strike that delicate balance of where does that signal coming into that amplifier distort. So it all has to do, it's that delicate balance. Like you want to be able to turn your volume on your radio up as far as possible before it just, you know, without it distorting or clipping. That's the key. So like on a Kenwood radio, you go all the way up. Okay, but as soon as you turn up your bass, mid, as soon as you adjust the EQ past like 2, it starts to clip because you're overdriving that. So now you have to turn that gain down or the volume knob down because you're boosting those signals. So there's a wall, and everything hits that wall. Okay, when you're adjusting that volume knob. So if you want your treble to be 12 dBs louder than 0, then you're going to have to turn your volume down like 10 dB. So like instead, you know, which you can't really do because it's not a dB meter. You'd have to turn it down like 10 dB in order to stay in the clear, in the non-distortion, non-clipped output. And if that just made you confused, welcome to our world.
That was I didn't even hit nothing. All right. Does the kicker key-lock fix bass roll-off?
Pimpin'.
Like the IQ bass?
So what? Yeah, it has it has a loudness built into it, loudness curve built into it, because when they were designing it, they looked at what the standard bass roll-off is. It's standard bass roll-off is basically loudness. If you've ever had an aftermarket radio where you've had the loudness control on it, where you have like on Pioneer there's a 3-step loudness, on Kenwood there's a 2-step loudness. I don't even think Alpine has loudness. It may have on-off. Well, no, they call it something else. They have a whole nother name for it. And what it's designed to do is as you turn, when you're listening at low volumes, it boosts the bass and treble. And then as you turn the volume up, it basically, which I can't do, it basically goes flat like this and doesn't get any louder. So that's technically bass roll-off. As you're turning the volume up, it sounds really good, and then it just drops. But unlike the regular loudness curve, the mids and highs typically keep getting louder, and in our world, it just drops off totally on the subwoofer. So what they've added is a standard loudness curve into it to do the same thing. So as the volume, it's doing the opposite. So it's keeping that up. So technically, yes, it is fixing some form of bass roll-off. It's just their version of bass roll-off. It's the I'm gonna butcher something Huben-Munson curve or some. I always pronounce it wrong because it's my memory is only so good. But yeah, it's two dudes that created it back in college. I'm sure as a thesis because they're smarter than all of us. And they're like, hey, if we do this, it sounds better. But yeah, they added that into the key lock.
Okay, I have a Pack Amp Pro sub amp and audio control epicenter for a 2020 Ram 1500. Can you install that for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just call Paul and make an appointment.
Yeah.
727-216-6170.
It rolls off like this, man. It rolls off. It goes like this. It's the YMCA.
2009 Nissan Altima hybrid. Any issue with mounting an amplifier in the hybrid battery? In the hybrid battery compartment.
I mean...
Not on the battery. Just near to it.
Near the compartment, no. In the compartment, yeah. I wouldn't do that, but you could go near the compartment. Real quick, since Tommy's here and we're talking about Tommy and we want to score points with Tommy, for those of you that didn't catch the show on Saturday, but you did catch us unbox the cool prototype 5K that we have, we don't have the Crewcab to show you right now because that's in the car. You'll see a video soon enough. But when we did unbox these, there was some questions on here, these lights here across the top, there is 3 lights. One has what looks like a power, one is a triangle, one is an X. Who knows what that could possibly mean unless you're a big Xbox fan, in which case that's like up, down, left, right, shoot, shoot, bang. One is clear, which is the power light indicator, which lights up like blue. And then the one next to it is yellow, which we'll get to in a second. And the last, the X, is red. And the red is a, oh crap, you've done something bad light. But the yellow light is the cool one. So someone had asked, is that possibly a distortion detector clip light indicator? And the answer is yes. Yes, it is. It's exactly what this amplifier has. So adding to the many amplifiers now that are coming out and the manufacturers are doing us a solid, Sound Digital has added that feature into these big amplifiers. At least this one has it, so we can assume that the final product will, which is super exciting because it made setting these things up really cool. And of course, what you'll see in the videos, we use the DD1 because we didn't know at the time, and then we're turning it up and they both turn on at the same time. It's really sexy. So thank you, Sound Digital, for adding in a cool feature to your amplifier that we all desperately needed and want, so that it makes setting these things up way easier. Don't get me wrong, you still need a DD1 because not everyone's on board.
Who's Tommy? Who's Johnny?
Who's Tommy? Yeah, she said, oh.
All right. Hey, guys from Nashville. Going full active in my new F-150. Wondering if the difference between the Focal flat 6.5 and the K2's power components for the fronts is worth the price. It is worth the price.
I mean, Flax are beautiful speakers. They're gorgeous. They sound amazing.
The K2s
like,
are better.
The K2s are just better. If it's worth the price, that is something you have to learn to sleep with at nighttime. I mean, there's a lot of things in life that we look at and go, was it worth the price? And then 6 months later, we're going, damn it, man, if I would have waited one more month, I would have had some K2s. And then I could have been like, bro, I got K2s. What do you have? Ha, sucks to be you. Yeah. Okay, so, I mean, there again, I don't know. I mean, it's, to me, I'm a patient individual for the most part. When I want something and if there's something better, I really struggle with going down. It's like, okay, what do I need? I really need, you know, to make the show better to edit, we just bought new laptops, because why not? And if any of you have ever bought a laptop before, that's a struggle. But when you're buying a laptop to do what we do on the level that we do it, of course you're buying something that you design, meaning you don't buy off the rack, as it were. So, you know, it's like when you're looking, it's like $200 here, $200 there, $400 here, $400 there, to make sure, and the next thing you know, you have like this, oh my God, this is the most expensive laptop I've ever bought in my life. But the difference is, you know, for the next 4 years, we're going to be using this to edit these videos. So it's the same with sound. It's the same everywhere you go. You just got to buy what you can sleep at night with.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one about...
New Kicker KS, have you heard them yet? I'm getting a set of the 6x8s and 6 1/4s tomorrow. Yes, we have heard some of them.
Yeah.
We haven't heard all of them. But we haven't heard enough of them to go and give you a thorough review on it. So be patient there. But they have not been disappointing. Like, we've been like, oh crap, those are, yeah, okay, next. So we haven't had a chance to really get in there and, you know, like we like to do. When we say something sounds good, that means because we've spent a lot of hours listening to it. Obviously, it's a new speaker. We haven't got to that point.
Have you ever messed with German Maestro speakers?
I don't think so.
Maestro, no.
Yeah, no, the German Maestro stuff. That's the new. You haven't seen those?
No.
Yeah, it's weird because it's called Maestro,
really?
and it confused me for a while because I kept thinking
Maestro.
Maestro?
Okay, Maestro or German? I was thinking.
No, it's German Maestro. No, they look really nice though. It's definitely one of the newer to the States higher-end companies. I don't know what I think a lot of people with that were complaining that they didn't have a rep here, but I think now they just finally got distribution in the U.S. Because I think before you were like having to buy them out of Germany.
I need Focal K2s in my. Me too.
Is there an Audison rep in Canada? As a matter of fact,
it is.
Yes, that's who Phil just went to work for.
Okay.
Mobile. Hold on.
Automotive.
Hold on, I'll just
Automotive.
look, because our friend Philtastic
Fantastic.
left Electro.
Bonjour.
Yes, bonjour. He left his job. Automobility. Look up Automobility. Automobility. They apparently are the
There you go. See?
Thank you, Lance. Yep.
Mobile authority.
Yeah, Mobile Authority. Okay.
Authority.
Mobile
There you
Authority.
go. So yeah, it's they.
Yeah,
have,
Automobility
they have
is the
dealers.
firm, but they have guys. So see, thanks, Lance. See, that's why you need to
Hey,
be
Lázaro.
good, Lance. So Mobile Authority is who you want.
There you go. 2020 Charger Alpine, 6 speakers already bought an Amp Pro.
Cool. And a DM608 I have, okay, already, yep. I have a sub and box already.
$1,000 each, budget, front, rear, what, loud, what?
Loud, mostly rap and country. Is it rap country? Is it hick hop? That's right, hick hop.
Speakers?
Speakers, so, I mean, there again,
Hertz.
look for something with a metal tweeter.
Hertz.
Metal
Right.
tweeter. Hertz. Hertz has,
Yeah.
Hertz would be nice.
Like Milli Pros or Milli Legend.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you have a good stuff.
Because country actually has instruments, which is unique, because most music doesn't, but country they still use instruments in country. It's slowly fading, but they still use them. And of course, rap, there's no instruments at all. So the Hertz will do a really good job with that.
All right,
Milli
Aaron,
Pros, Milli Pros. There you go.
talk about Milli Pros or
Milli Pros
Flax.
100 watts, passive, which will give me more mid-bass. Doors are sound deadened with fast rings. Oh my god, dude! Honestly, it's about the same. I don't know. I mean, we've done so many of both. I don't really.
I mean,
I'll throw one at you. Get the Morel
get them.
Get the Morel hybrids.
Boom.
Country has bass. Country has a ton of bass, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna listen to it. Okay?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, come on. No.
Spanish music.
Just because
has
I'm
a
white
ton of
man
mic.
doesn't mean I have to listen to country. He went racist. Oh my god. No.
Spanish music has a ton of bass.
No, it doesn't. No, it does. It has no bass. That's why they invented the epicenter. That's why. What's his name? What's his name from Guadalajara?
Roberto.
Roberto was like, I bought my house selling epicenters.
Pretty much. If you're looking for an epicenter in Mexico, just call Roberto.
An 808 is an instrument.
Yeah.
Right, Sir Mix-a-Lot. Uh-huh. Yeah. Kicker KS 1600 audio control LX. Ooh. Well, the LX is definitely. Oh man. Man, that's tough. I like both those amplifiers, but I'd probably end up with the LX. I'm not gonna lie. I'd probably end up with the LX, or I'd just go straight up to the 2400.
You're making this harder. Hey man, it is hard. It's a hard decision.
Okay, here's the thing when buying speakers. Okay, and this is just it. All right, and I'm gonna steal this from the owner of PS Audio, who makes awesome home audio amplifiers, but they don't make speakers. And so the number one question that they always get is, what speakers should I buy to go with your amplifiers? And it's a hard question to ask, and he answers it like this. Find a speaker manufacturer that shares the same beliefs that you do, okay? Now, what does that mean? Does that mean, like, you know, they have the same spiritual beliefs, the same psychological beliefs, the same beliefs on... No. Meaning, like, what are you want something that works well with this type of music. So go to their website and investigate. You know, what are the pictures of? Are they pictures of instruments? What are their ideologies? Like, for example, Hertz Audison, they make a line of speakers called SPL. And they show people having fun and getting down and boogieing, as it were. Because that's what that speaker is designed. Now, when you go over the Audison side of things, you see like violins and sports cars and exquisite things. That's not necessarily, like, we all like those things, but that's not necessarily where I want my speaker to be. Morel will show you very similar things as Audison, and you know, so you want to pick a speaker manufacturer that you can kind of get behind, you know, and it has a cool story, and like, you know, like Audio Frog. Audio Frog is Andy Waymeyer. It's pretty much his. He's the company. And he comes from JBL. He has a background in that and just designing and making and producing and helping, and it's a really cool company to be associated with. And you know, they make, you know, like he said in one of the interviews when we were talking to him, he goes, I was like, describe to me the car we're getting ready to listen to. He goes, it's just a bunch of expensive speakers with some really powerful amplifiers, and it just sounds really fun. And it's like, that's the kind of guy I want building my stuff, because that's what I want. I want to get in my car and I want it to be fun. So all of this is fun. So whether you go Hertz, whether you go Audison, whether you go Morel, whether you go hybrid, whether you go PhD, or any of the German Maestro or BAM, or there's so many great speaker manufacturers out there that make phenomenal speakers. When you're at that price point, that like sub $1,000 price point for a set of speakers, the likelihood of you getting crap is thin, like razor thin, like almost non-existent. You're gonna pick a pair of speakers and you're gonna love them. And you're gonna love them because you spent a lot of money on them and they're gonna sound good. Because I have yet to hear a pair of $1,000 speakers, or like between that $7,000 to $1,000 set of speakers that sounds bad.
No, just make sure you go to I don't know, a good shop so they can install it.
Well, no, he's already got roadkill and all that fun stuff in there. My biggest problem is not being able to hear them before I buy them, and the magnified 1,000 times right now. So here's the other problem too, Aaron. Most of the time people go, okay, so when so when you demo a speaker on a board, it's in a perfect environment, okay? It's not made to sound, it's made to demo great. Okay, some of the best speakers I've ever heard demoed like crap. Like absolute total crap. Like you hear them on a board and you're like, these things sound terrible. And that's because they are made to go into a car. Once you put them in the car, you're like, oh my God, these things sound really, really good. So unless you can hear them in the environment they're made for, I really don't put a lot of credence in demos on board, because typically a demo on a board, the person is going to buy the speaker that has the loudest tweeter every time. If I play a set of Pioneer Z-type speakers next to a pair of Pioneer D-type speakers, you're going to buy the Z's every time. I can guarantee you. Which one do you like? I like that one, because that tweeter is just like, and it's just so piercing and so bright. It demos wonderful for what most people think is better. The reality is it's not. The clarity isn't there. The definition isn't there. If you looked at it in RTA, it's straight up treble, and the mid-range just does this. Whereas on the D, the tweeter is in line with the mid-range, and it has a much more natural musical sound. So don't trust the demo. Trust the research. The research is where you're going to find your best speaker.
What's up, Josh? What's up, Tony Bill?
Millie Legends sound terrible on the board. Great in the car. Exactly. Oh, dude, the Morels that we had on the board demoed like crap. We actually took them off the board because they were. Oh yeah, I had them take them off the board. I was like, these things are terrible.
All right, old school here, old school guy here. Just the same. 2008 Silverado Kenwood DNX 997XR deck with the Kenwood X480 4 channel amplifier running a Diamond Audio M61 fronts, MB cords. Anyway, the question is, if you're gonna upgrade the speakers and amplifiers, what do you suggest?
So it's got diamond speakers and diamond amps and MB cord speakers.
Yes.
So I guess the question would be, are they the current MB cord speakers, or are they like the 1990 MB cord speakers? Because if they're like the 1990 MB cord speakers, those had a metal tweeter. And that was a really nice speaker, they tell me. I personally didn't like them because they had a metal tweeter. I've never been a big metal tweeter fan. The only metal tweeter that I was kind of into was like the JBL T06 tweeter when that existed, but they put a lot of research into that and it just wasn't a dome. Anyways, that's a whole nother story. If you like a metal tweeter, that's a hard dome tweeter, then you want to go after a product that mimics that hard dome tweeter. If it has a dome, like a silk dome tweeter in it, there again, we keep talking about Hertz tonight, seems to be the Hertz show. The Millies are a phenomenal speaker that would probably slide right in there and go well. There again, if you want that hard dome tweeter, the Flax would slide right in there and go really well.
They 1990s.
1990, so that's a hard dome tweeter. So that's really bright.
Amplifiers?
Over the diamonds? that's pretty simple. I mean, pretty much anybody at this point. Check out the audio control. I mean, if you're, yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to think.
All right.
Or,
okay.
I mean, if they're big AB class, you might want to check out the Morels. The Morels still makes AB. They make the nice 4-channel AB class. You could also check out the Morel hybrids. Those have a really beautiful tweeter too.
They nice.
Yeah, they're really nice.
All right. 2017 GMC Sierra. Is the LC7i a good option to hook
See
up?
hi-fi.
To hook up a 5-channel amplifier, to run a sub, and amp to the door speakers.
What year?
2017.
GMC Sierra.
LC7i.
No. Just get an Amp Pro GM61. So if you have a 2017 Sierra, Chevy or GMC pickup truck, or Chevy, it doesn't matter. Shh, they're not the same thing. I don't know yet. We haven't talked about that, Jason. You have the option to do an an Amp Pro GM61. We have a video on it. You can Google Amp Pro GM61. There's two. There's one with Bose, one without Bose. You want to watch the video without Bose. There's dip switches on the side of the Amp Pro. Dip switch 3 will activate a hidden feature inside of it that will turn the MOS bus system into a preamp section that you can then use to go off the amplifiers. The only caveat is, and there again, you don't always have to flick dip switch number 3. The only time you can just plug it in and it'll work. The only reason why I'd have to flick dip switch number 3 is if you're listening to either the satellite radio or the FM tuner and you only have either left or right channel audio. Because sometimes the tuners don't carry through. Now digital wise, so your USBs, your aux jack and all that, those work fine. So what they've done is dip switch number 3 takes all tuners and mirrors them. So it either creates 2 left channels or 2 right channels. Alright, which no one listens to any of that crap anyways, and Sirius XM sounds like garbage, so it wouldn't matter if you were listening to 2 left channels anyways. But then you get a full 5-volt output from the factory radio, full 5-volt output. Did I mention full no bass roll off, no EQ, no time delay, no nothing. Just, it takes your factory radio and says, hey, would you like to be an aftermarket radio with a full preamp section? Well, yes, I would. Alright, plug this in. So, though in some cases the LC7i is a spectacular tool to use, not in this case, because there's a better option available. It is more expensive. However, the whole reason why we're doing this is to make our cars sound better.
Alright.
Why make it sound worse?
Okay. Pioneer GM.
Amp Pro exists, hold on, Amp Pro exists for 2024. No, but check out, go to navtv.com. I think they have a new Zen audio piece for that Traverse. So that'd be navtv.com. Zen Audio is their brand of Amp Pros. And I think they have one for that, if it has the Bose system. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Alright, Pioneer GM D8704. Amplifier cuts off, in and out, even when the RCAs are not connected. What could it be, the issue?
Power wire, ground wire. What kind of battery voltage do you have? So what you'd want to do, I mean, you got to have a digital multimeter. If you don't have a digital multimeter, then you're not into car audio, you're just into braking stuff. So I'm assuming you have a digital multimeter. Take your digital multimeter, put it to DC voltage, put it onto the amplifier's power section and see what it is doing. See if you have voltage. When that amplifier cuts off, do you get a raise or a lower? Meaning, is it like low and then it cuts off and then it goes up? That'll tell you somewhere you have, like, when you're looking at wiring, you're not actually seeing what is happening. You can't see the little things move through, the electrons moving through the wire. So you have to check it with a digital multimeter and see what the heck is going on. If you've checked it with a digital multimeter, everything is perfect, meaning remote turn on is there, the voltage is there, your ground plane is good, then there's something wrong with the amplifier. It happens. It's sad, but it does happen.
Awesome, Bobby. He just bought the X-Link fuses. Cool. Awesome. How do you know, or how do I know if I need LGDs on my 2020 Explorer?
You need LGD blues. You just need them because it's a.
You just need them.
It's just need them. There's no way to know. You just need them. There's 2020 is going to be blue. Should be blue. All the ones we've run into so far are blue. And the LGDs are the load resistors. The blue is the minimal amount, and you just need it. Like you'd have to. I mean, you'd have to have an RTA that is capable of reading up past 20,000 hertz because that's where the error occurs, is above the audible range. It skyrockets and causes the tweeters to just try to reproduce sounds that they're not capable of doing, and that's what blows them. So pick up a set of LGD blues.
Hey guys, I have a 2004 RSX with Bose amplifier. Is there a harness to bypass that?
Hold on one second. Chris Lee, go with the illusion. Okay, go ahead.
2004 RSX with a Bose amplifier. Is there a harness to bypass the amplifier?
I don't know specifically on that one. However, if there is something that's going to be close, that would be a Metra part. So you might be able to go to metraonline.com. They have a search window. Type in the search window Honda amplifier bypass harness and see what comes up, because I know they make different ones for that. Also, you can take a picture of your factory amplifier harness and then just do a Honda harness search in Metra and see if any one of them match your harness. When it comes to stuff like that, we typically just go over to our wall and pull off what we need, and that's it.
Alright, Morten, I was told the German Maestro brand is basically an MB core from the 80s and 90s. And German Maestro give the K2 series run for the money.
Well, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, K2's by no stretch of the imagination is the best speaker on the planet. There's no doubt about it. I mean, we just... There are spectacular speakers out there, just like... There's a whole nother world of audio out there that we don't even talk about because we just... It's so big. There's tons of different brands out there that are leaps and bounds, and then there's brands that are less. But the thing is you kind of have to stay within a wheelhouse that's steerable. You know, it's like I do a ton of research and try to know as much information as I can so I can answer all these questions. But then again, at the end of the day, there's only so much information I can fit into this big head of mine, other than air. But no, I'm sure they do. I've heard nothing but great things about the brand, so...
Alright, in my AMK5 Golf, the mid-bass driver, it's by your boom. Okay, the factory setup is a three-way set. Should I go with the three-way set replacement, or should I get the two-way component and still give me the good sound stage and imaging?
So it has a three-way in it from the factory?
It has a factory three-way.
I would always go with the factory three-way. I mean, if it's got a three-way, I put a three-way back in it. It's just kind of...
We did a video on the Jetta that has a three-way.
It's murder to get it in there, but it sounded really good. I mean, it was definitely a pain in the butt to get it in there. Can I use a Rockford Fosgate DSR1 with an audio control epicenter? Of course you can. Just know that in any situation where you're going to use an epicenter, the crossover for the sub output of either the radio, the DSP, the EQ, whatever, has to be up or off. Meaning it has to be up high, like 220, 160, 180, somewhere up high, because you want to get as much signal into that epicenter as possible. The more signal you can get into it, the better results you're going to have. Let the crossover on the amplifier be your crossover for that. The other thing too is you might want to stay away from the time delay thing. Might do weird things, but give it a go and see how it sounds. But yes, crossover amplifier, not DSR.
Alright, have you guys installed any Focal E30KX subs? I think they're the flat, the shallow. I have an Alpine ILX 207, audio control 4.800, audio control LC 1.800. Ooh. 1500, I'm sorry. DMA10. Kicker.
Is there a question in there somewhere? I mean, I'm cool with all the equipment, but
I kind of figured it out. Can you? Did you ever heard some of those?
The flat sub? No, we've only done the regular size subwoofer. We've never done the actual flat sub. Supposedly, it sounds amazing. I mean, when we were in the training, it was.
That was not one.
I mean, every year they always say, this is the best sub. This is the best flat subwoofer that has ever come out.
No, I haven't heard that.
No, but I've never actually put ears on them. Because what had happened was they took those out and put the Raven in. When we were getting ready to demo next car, we took that out and put the Raven in. Because they had those first. And that was when Pate was demoing boxes with them. So
right. And Ada's not here. Oh, it is.
See you, Bobby.
He's been putting those subwoofers, so.
I mean, they're great woofers. It's not like they're not. It's just I personally have never heard them, so I can't tell you. I mean, it's a Focal, so I mean, it's not like they're gonna suck, but they are expensive. If that's that's always the takeaway. When something's over that price point that you're comfortable with, then you go, ooh, well, I mean, but I mean, what are you gonna do? See you, Bobby. I'm in the Army. I spend lots of money since I was in El Paso. Now I'm doing true. Okay, just the same. All right. I think he was asking. I think someone was answering him that. For the New York, New Jersey thing, if you want, like, someone gave you the MVS. If you want to go onto Instagram, you can look up. What's Frankie's company's name? I always forget it. Hold on, he'll look it up for you. Where does Rockford Fosgate T1 S210 rate on your list of shallow mount subwoofers? How do you feel about Big 3 upgrades? As far as the T1S goes, Fernando will tell you that's one of his favorite shallow mount subwoofers. The only reason why we don't recommend it as much as we do, let's say, the Kicker, is because it is application picky, meaning the woofer is like this deep and the grill is like a ½ inch shorter than it is deep. So a lot of the times when doing shallow mount subwoofers, you don't have a lot of height off the floor. With that woofer, you have to have a good like 2 inches of space to fit that woofer with its grill.
Yeah, there you go. And then
12 volt marketing.
12 volt marketing. Thank you.
Go to Instagram and check out 12 volt marketing. That's run by a guy named Frankie. He's in New York. That's his territory. So New York, New Jersey, that whole area. He also has his own retail store too. But he'll be able to help you find somebody. Any tips? Mine a Stinger and my Ford Fusion in the trunk. What is the SPP 2250? Oh, that's that big ass battery. That's right. That's the new battery. No. Get some threaded nutsert rivets and mount it to the floor. I mean, that's what we would do. Seems to be a common theme around the Bay. Nobody has really heard those Focal subs. Pretty much figure I can go wrong with matching. So I'm going to tell you who does a lot with those subwoofers. And that's going to be MTI out of Texas, or Mobile Toys. Guy by the name Chris Pate runs the place. They do a ton of work with those. They even make the subwoofer enclosures for the cars, so you can buy it preloaded in a box. So if you're looking for something already made, perfect, sexy, go in your car, check out MTI Acoustics. Yep. I think it's mtiacoustics.com. Yep. They will preload it in there. They are authorized to sell online. They will make you the Focal box of your dreams with that shallow mount woofer in there. You can also give them a call, ask them what they think of that woofer. They do a lot with that woofer. Yes. So they are they pretty much probably do the most of those woofers. They even sell the box to Focal. So as a Focal dealer, we can order like an F-150 preloaded enclosure to go underneath the seat. So
Frankie is a GZ and SD rap.
Yes, he is. Yeah. Frankie, of course he is.
Frankie is the best.
Frankie is nuts. Big 3 upgrade. So when it comes to the Big 3 upgrade, you have to be careful, okay? A lot of these cars nowadays, they're using... Their ground system is very picky, okay, to say the least. So if it's an older car... yeah, you're probably okay to do a Big 3 upgrade. On a newer car, we don't even know. We don't, because, and the other thing too is you have to, most cars now have their voltage sense on the ground wire. So you have to be real careful when you're working around that. So like, if you go after it, you're fine. If you go before it, you're screwed. And sometimes they use just loops where all the wires go through them. And that, you know, if you're not including that in the system, then you could have problems, because you're upping the ground plane, but you're not actually, the car isn't seeing that increased ground plane. So it's a sketchy, like, you got to be careful. So, and it's not the end-all be-all coolest thing that everyone says it is in these newer cars. Some of the older cars that have crappy ground planes, like a Honda Accord, crappy ground plane, but it's real simple to improve it. You just run a zero gauge from the battery to the frame, because that's the ground that sucks. So like that car, it's easy. Some other cars, not so much. Like if you have a brand new F-150 that's all aluminum, there ain't nothing you're gonna do to that. It's aluminum. You ain't gonna make it any better. That's why you just go to the battery.
What do you think?
Oh, hold on. Did a 2000? Hold on. Go back. I think you said did a 2000 or did a big 3 upgrade in 2014 and notice no difference. Like I said, you don't always notice a difference. Yeah, and no issues. Oh, no issues. Okay, so that's good. There again, like I said, it just depends on the car. Noob with a AVH201X trying to mirror my Android. No, CAC3V and simple.
Nope.
Nope, it's
nothing.
not going
It's
to.
nothing.
So anytime, okay, so one thing reason why we don't review radios anymore is for that simple fact that everyone always wants to know how to mirror your phone. So let me let you know a big secret. Apple, simple to mirror a phone to a radio. You have the Lightning to HDMI adapter. You take the CAC3AV. You get the iSimple media links cable that goes to HDMI, and everything works like a dream. Except now it doesn't, because Apple has now decided to turn off outputs to protect the companies that are streaming these apps, because they don't want you they don't want you to like be able to stream this into a computer and record it or any of that stuff. Okay, so it's getting harder to do that now. Some of these new radios have Wi-Fi built into them, and we could stream stuff over Wi-Fi, which is kind of cool, but how long will that last? I don't know. But mirroring your phone to your radio, that's the other thing that you have to keep in mind. 1080 screen, 480 screen, low res garbage. All right, so
horrible.
It's like playing 1980s Pac-Man on your new 4K screen.
That was
pixelated and looks like crap. So, and these are better. But yeah, it's not cool.
No, it's not cool.
I've done Big 5 on 217. Big 5. Yeah, right? I don't know why they call it the Big 3. I think a Big 4 or Big 5 is better, because most of the time it's like, because it's always right, alternator and over, which whatever, but it's like battery to block, block to frame, frame to battery, battery to frame. Oh, and then in a truck you can go to frame and the actual chassis, so you have so there's a lot of
it should call just wire upgrade.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not
I miss my off-air TV. Any antidotes? I got killed when I went HD. No, I miss that too. But there are no. So the problem is with HD, there's speed rated, so you can't grab an HD signal over the air when you're moving, because it's only the receivers are only capable. There's a speed issue, meaning it can't grab it while you're moving. So yeah, it sucks. Total noob question. What happened to the speaker in the premium system, like the center channel and rear cargo speakers that are not connected to the new amps? Nothing happens to them. They just kind of just disappear. So when you get into alright, we'll use an F-150 and also a Dodge Ram. If you have an F-150 that has a center channel speaker in it, it is not an upmix center channel, meaning there's not a processor in there that is extracting sound from left and right, doing its little special thing, and then making it a true center channel, like in your house. Your house is 5.1, 6.1, 7.1, 9 point whatever, okay? And it's like that because it's encoded that way from like the disc or over the air. It comes encoded with that on it. In car, it is a left signal and it is a right signal. It is stereo. That is it. There's no center. There's no rear effects channel. It's not 5.1 surround or 6. It's nothing like that. So you have to have what's called an upmixer in there to create that center channel. Now some cars, Cadillacs with center point technology or whatever the heck it's called, and some of the Mark Levinson and stuff like that, they actually have up mixers in those that create a real center channel because it's a giant processor and they're doing that. But that Ford F-150, it doesn't have that. That Alpine system in the Dodge Ram, it doesn't have that. The Harman Kardon system in the Dodge Ram, well, it does have a better system than most, and it will give you an upmix center channel. However, most of the time what we're looking at is we want left and right audio, and then we're going to put a DSP processor on it. And if done properly, you can make what's called a one-seat tune, meaning when you're in the driver's seat, you've tuned it for you. So that speaker's 6 feet away, this speaker's 3 feet away. I need to add 3 feet of delay to this speaker so that it's 6 feet out. Once I've done that, then the audio that is supposed to sound like it's coming from the center will then appear. The best way to do that is if you have a home stereo, you put it in stereo, turn off your surround, and you walk left and right of your speakers and play music. As you're walking left and right, you'll notice that the singer will gradually, and then it'll appear here, and then it'll gradually, and it'll appear here. And you'll lose that center image. If you walk back and come to the center, then he'll sound like he's coming out of your TV, even though your center channel is off. That's what we're trying to recreate in a car for the most part. Not everyone likes that, but that's what we're trying to do. Mm-hmm. All those extra speakers in there are typically cheap speakers to make cheap systems sound better. And they typically don't. Like when you hop into that Dodge Ram and listen to that system, it sounds like shit. It's bad. It's really bad. So by going with higher end left and right, rear, and a sub, standard 4.1 audio, you get a much nicer system and a much more... I have never had a guy that we have taken one of these multi-channel hoo-has out of and gone, oh man, I really missed that. No, they're always like, dude, this is so amazing. I went from 10 speakers to 6, and this, and plus a sub, and this kicks its butt. It's like, yeah. Okay.
All right, so what is your favorite truck to work on?
Favorite truck to work on?
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a favorite truck to work on?
An F-150, man.
I like the F-150. I'm not going to lie. Everything about the F-150 is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, we do a lot of Toyota Tundras. We do a decent amount of Dodge Rams, Chevy trucks. I mean, we work on them all. We're, you know, but like that F-150, because we do a ton of them, I mean, it's like, we got that, man. We got that. The Toyota Tundra is probably the next most common truck we do, but nowhere near as fun to work on as the F-150 because it's just, yeah.
What kind of under-seat subwoofer do you recommend for the 2014 Silverado Crewcab?
Well, you have to be careful on that one because there's two different under-seat configurations. They have what's called the low transmission hump and the high transmission hump. If it's a low transmission hump, when you fold up your seat, it's pretty much flat except for right in the middle you have like a little 1-inch bump. For that, we recommend, you know, any one of the normal boxes that any box house makes. You could put 210s or 212s. We obviously go with the Kicker Comp RTs are our go-to woofers for that. And they sound great. 500-600 watts, whatever. Most of the time when we're doing a Chevy, we're going with a T750.1 or a T500.1 because those will fit up without having to pull the rear seat out. The mini T Rockford amplifiers are kind of go-to for that. If you have a high transmission hump, may God help you. Because your subwoofers are going to suck. They always suck. They always will suck. The subwoofers are going to smack the floor. I got no good answers for that one. We still go with the same subwoofers, but we don't like them. Have you played with the new model Rangers? No, not yet. Not yet. Looking forward to that one. I'm sure it will come, but it's weird. You know, new cars, some new cars people are anxious to tear apart and put new stuff in. Some new cars people are just like, oh, slow down. It's delicate. Like, you know, when the Camaro came out, some shops got Camaros right away. You know, when I was where I was at, I drove one, and we didn't get a lot of Camaros.
All right. Somebody say right here. Where is it? If you're the product behind us is just prototype, or is just
real? All right, hold on real quick. I have a 2019 Ram 15 Classic with CarPlay. What head unit would replace the U-Connect with? I wouldn't replace the head unit in a 2000. Okay, the only time I replace a head unit in a Ram is if it's got the little 5-inch. If it's got the 7-inch or the 8-inch, go watch our Instagram video today. That's Instagram TV. You can find it at the number 5 Star Car Stereo. We answer that question there. This Warhorse is a real warhorse. However, the preamp section has been removed from it because it was a gift from Kicker to us for filming a documentary. They wanted to know, they were like, hey, yes, I would definitely take them. This little signature right here is Steve Irby's signature. That's the owner of Kicker. So it's still privately owned company. It's not owned by a investment banking conglomerate. It's owned by him and his wife. So Mr. and Mrs. Irby own Kicker. Everything. They own the whole thing. It's his company. So they sent that to us as a thank you. All the other equipment like we have back here, some of it is prototype, like the Sound Digital amplifier. This is a prototype. And they told me that they'll want it back, which is fine. Whether that happens or not, I don't know. But yeah, they'll probably get it back. But the rest of the stuff is real. Yeah. Sometimes we get, all right, so for example, a good way to think of that is, this is a prototype LC2i Pro, and this will never get used because it's actually built backwards. The outputs here are wrong in comparison to what they're supposed to be, because when they redesigned it, they didn't think about it. So they spun it up, they got it, and they realized, because the whole idea behind the audio controls, you should be able to unplug and plug in any audio control device you have. So if you have this today and you wanted to put an amplifier in place, you should be able to unplug it and plug it directly in the amplifier. This one wasn't wired that way, so this is going on the shelf and it'll never get used because of that. Now, the key lock that we have that they sent us is a prototype key lock. So that piece, though it looks identical, it comes in the box, it was pretty much almost a gold master. The software that's on it is not the current software that's on the key lock. So it doesn't have the same stuff in it. So we would have to send it back to them, they'd have to flash it. So pretty much that'll never happen. It's a dead product at that point. It'll just stay in the museum, as it were, and we can still talk about it, and it still looks the same, and the harnesses are all, but it'll never go into a car because it won't work the way it's supposed to in the modern, and with the newer version does more stuff. So,
all right,
that answers that question.
I need assistance with updating my Kenwood DMX 906 firmware update. Go to the Kenwood website, type the model number, and then go to...
Well, you gotta look in support.
Support.
Go to support first.
Yeah.
Go to support first. So go to the website, go to the tab that says support, and then update. The first thing that pops up on the support page, right, Fernando?
Yes. Yes. I was looking everywhere. I'm like, it's not that...
And I'm like, dude, literally, hit that button, type in your model number, and it pops up.
This is my first week. Come on,
okay.
Man.
You have to make sure that the thumb drive you're use has nothing else on it. Format it before you put it in. Nothing else. No music, no videos, no nothing. No hidden folders, no nothing. Format it. Put your file on it. Put the radio on standby. Plug it in, and there you go.
Yeah.
It'll work like a champ. Can you mix new AGM batteries with an OEM lead acid battery? I mean, we do it. I mean, yeah, we we'll take a lead acid battery and a the Stinger batteries or whoever batteries we're using. If you're worried about them doing this to one another, just put in the relay, the big 200 or 500 amp relay, and that's hooked up to the ignition. So every time you turn off the car, the two batteries will separate and go to their designated corners, and you won't have any issues with that happening.
Right here.
Hey guys, quick question. With the Kenwood head unit...
Right there.
Which one?
Right here.
Would you just run speed wire off amp back behind radio for front speakers? Not sure if front are wired separately or already in parallel. What kind of car is it?
It's a Dodge
Avenger.
Dodge Avenger.
6x9s, 3.5s. Those are gonna be 6x9s and 3.5. All the Dodges, they're in parallel. So like the 6x9 and this one, as long as it doesn't have the premium sound system. If a Dodge has a premium sound system, then every speaker is on its own channel of the amplifier. If it doesn't have the premium sound system, then the mid-range and tweeter, the mid-range and mid-bass are going to be on one channel. The amplifier for an Avenger, maybe underneath the seat. I don't know. But that would be the thing. They'll be on the same channel. In which case, yeah, you can run speed wire right up to it and go.
I believe on the Pioneers it's always been 38.
Well, 38 or 40 if you're using your phone. So like if you use a CD, it's 38.
And make sure the EQ is flat.
Yeah, if you're going to leave the EQ on, 38.
Yeah.
Definitely 38.
Like that. Yeah.
Oh, reboots about twice a week out of the blue. Oh, that sucks. That's not normal. Can I bridge a Pioneer to an older 4-ohm with no issues? I would not. I would not bridge those amplifiers to 4-ohm mono. So here's the thing you got to keep in mind. When you go 4-ohm mono, it's the same thing as doing 2-ohm stereo. Not all Class D amplifiers like to be run at 2-ohm stereo. Therefore, they will not like to be run at 4-ohm mono. That particular amplifier kind of falls into that category. It's a great 4-ohm amplifier, meaning it's affordable, it sounds good, and it does great when you're running at 4-ohm. When you want to run it at 2-ohm or 4-ohm mono, as it were, not really the thing that you want to do. Okay? If you want to do that, you need a bigger, better amplifier. So no. But what you could do is go active, go 1 and 2 to tweeter, 3 and 4 to mid-range, something like that. But those are not amplifiers we go 2-ohm on, ever. Ever, ever, ever. Just because something can do it doesn't mean it should do it. Remember, this is audio. They lie, cheat, and steal like it's nobody's business. That's what all of them do.
Alright, does the DMRTA promo still available?
It is not still available. However,
you know a guy?
I know a guy named Chris Bennett, okay, and he works at Audio Control. If you go to Audio Control, call Audio Control and or send them an email, or send them a DM on Facebook, Instagram. Chris Bennett is everywhere. Bennett, something like that. Bennett. Chris Bennett, okay? And say, hey, listen, I want to use... I mean, you could try it. You could definitely try it and see if it works. If it works, great. But if it doesn't work, get a hold of Chris Bennett and say, hey, can I get that 5-star discount Dean told me? And he will hook you up, okay?
It's like, I know a guy that calls...
Yeah, I like Danny. Danny's little logo there is an Orion amplifier. Thanks, Dean, for an answer. Avenger does not have premium sound. Bought. Yep. Oh, the 3.5 components are for easy installation. Yeah, you're going to love them. We just did them today. They sound great. All right, guys, listen, that's taken us to an hour. This is Monday. This Monday show is done. Thank God.
I'm hungry.
We still have the rest of the week in front of us. Who's excited about that? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. That's about what I thought. Listen, Saturday is another day. We're going to be doing another of these on YouTube on Saturdays. For those of you that are new to the world, make sure you head over to 5-Star Car Stereo on YouTube, and you can see us there. Or if you'd like to watch us during the week, make sure to subscribe to us on Instagram, because we like to go on Instagram almost every day, and we answer questions there, and we talk about what's going on in the Bay, and we just generally try to have good fun. This is Car Audio.
Yeah, turn the notifications so you know when we come.
It's supposed to be fun, right? Some guys take this way too seriously. Slow it down. It's fun. The only reason why we all do this is because it's fun. And with that, if you'd like to get a cool shirt to show you express your funness because the 4th of July is coming up, make sure you head over to Teespring/store/5-star, or just go to Teespring and type in 5-Star Car Stereo, head over to our store, and there you can pick up the new 4th of July American flag 5-star t-shirt. It's super sexy. It's blue. You'll be the guy rocking it on the parties. It'll be fun. You'll have fun. Patreon is a place you can go to support the show.
Clean Wire Club
is a place you can go on Facebook to post up all your pictures of cool, clean wiring. And listen, guys, as much as I can appreciate the new guys out there, post your pictures, tell us you're a new guy, ask for pointers, but your picture is going to get taken down, okay?
Yes.
But and people are going to give you tips. Some people will rag on you. Don't be hurt. Put your pictures up there, okay? But just know that after a couple days, we are going to take them down. Hopefully, if you ask questions, you got your answers. Most guys answer right away. I'm pretty cool with, or pretty happy with the response. Most guys have been nice and saying this is what you should do differently. Maybe think about getting this.
And hopefully, you can fix it.
And hopefully you can fix it and post. And God forbid, I don't care about your before shots. I want to see your after shots.
Just the final product. And make sure to grab a live. But you flash whatever.
Yeah, don't zoom in. Back up a little bit.
Yeah,
Back up a little bit,
see
man.
where it
Come on.
is.
Pretend like it's
that?
it's your girl and you're taking that Sunday picture of her in her dress.
And remember,
really...
if you actually have a nice clean install, it's gonna go into the next Monday.
It's gonna be the header.
Right on the header.
Everyone gets to know it's you, bro.
Yep.
That's right. I'm the head of the Clean Wire Club this week. You're Mr. Clean Wire. Don't worry, I don't submit my pictures ever.
No,
he might, but I don't ever put my pictures up there.
I put just to.
But we'll never be.
Yeah,
I'll never get to be on the top of the page because
you suck.
I suck.
Yeah.
DNF Tool Drawer is a place you can find all the cool tools.
Yep.
And we still have stickers to give away. I don't remember what it was, but it's in enough of these you can find it. So with that, you guys have a wonderful night, and we'll see you back here next time.
Bye.
Yeah.